Welcome to Reddit Echoes, where real-life stories are told with raw emotion, gripping drama, and sometimes incredibly satisfying revenge. Life isn't always fair, but that doesn't mean we have to sit back and let others bully or take advantage of us. Sometimes standing up for yourself or teaching someone a lesson they'll never forget is exactly what's needed. Today we're diving into two unforgettable revenge stories. The first is a tale of sweet retaliation against an infuriating coworker. The second is a battle against a massive retail corporation that dared to disrespect a customer's rights. Get ready to ride the emotional roller coaster from tension and frustration to the sweet, sweet satisfaction of justice served. Story 1. Sweet Revenge, My Friendly Coworker. In 2016, I was fortunate enough to land a part-time job at my local library. I call it fortunate because honestly, I wasn't entirely qualified for the position. But I did have one huge advantage. A close friend from college worked in the library's technical department, and his recommendation was worth its weight in gold. On my first day, I brought along a box of delicious donuts from my favorite shop, hoping to make a good impression on my new colleagues. When I arrived, I quickly realized my direct manager hadn't shown up yet. Luckily, the female librarian in charge of the children's section opened the door and let me in early. Unfortunately, that's also when I met my personal nightmare, Monica, the most unpleasant woman I'd ever encountered. From the very first second, I could feel her icy, hostile stare. Turns out Monica disliked me for two absurd reasons. First, because a friend of hers had previously applied for my position and failed to get it, and second, because I'd brought donuts from a rival shop instead of buying the dry, stale bagels she sold at the cafe opposite the library. Seriously, Monica, who even enjoys bagels anyway? A few days later, I accidentally made a significant mistake in my new job. A customer with a very common name caused me to confuse two library accounts. I mistakenly created a faulty library card, and in my rush to leave work, left the defective card on my desk. When I returned after my break, I couldn't find the card anywhere. Panicked, I frantically searched everywhere to no avail. But time was not on my side, and I had to leave immediately to make it to class on time. In my panic, I completely forgot to report this issue to anyone, a serious oversight. Several days later, I received an email stating that the lost card had been found inexplicably placed among the brand new unused library cards. I suddenly recalled that when I had returned earlier to look for it, Monica had been working at that very computer. Of course, nobody would be foolish enough to accidentally place a faulty card in that location. Clearly, Monica had deliberately sabotaged me. The worst was yet to come. My mistake ended up as a severe blemish on my direct manager's professional record, since I was the very first employee he had personally trained. That kind and dedicated manager was eventually fired, forced to relocate his entire family elsewhere. I felt incredibly guilty, but couldn't do much about it since I'd already found a new job at the university's writing center, offering a significantly higher salary. I thought that chapter had ended. 2 years passed, and I had nearly forgotten the library incident until one day when I discovered Monica was secretly following my Twitter account. But here's the kicker. Monica wasn't following me from a normal account. She was using a BDSM-themed account filled with explicit photos of herself. I was genuinely shocked to see the woman who had previously harmed me posing provocatively in various revealing outfits. And worse still, these images were taken in familiar corners of the library. The most disturbing was a photo she had snapped right inside the children's area. After a few moments of hesitation, I saved those pictures. Initially, I just wanted to understand why Monica was stalking my anonymous Twitter, especially since I frequently posted quite sensitive and anti-establishment content. But when I politely messaged her to ask, Monica responded rudely. She mocked me harshly, claiming I'd left my library job because I couldn't handle the pressure, and then promptly blocked my account. Oh dear, Monica, you had no idea who you had just messed with. With all the evidence in hand, I composed a polite yet detailed anonymous email to the library's Human Resources Department expressing my shock upon discovering these explicit images had been taken inside a library frequented by numerous children every day. The result was swift. Within just 2 days, Monica was immediately fired. News of her termination quickly spread to every nearby library branch, leaving her utterly humiliated. Soon afterward, the new library manager, coincidentally a good friend of the cafe owner where Monica had a side job, shared the scandalous news with his friend. Consequently, Monica soon lost her cafe job as well. Unemployed, Monica couldn't keep up with payments on her recently purchased car, leading to it being repossessed. Having lost her vehicle job and even the library science scholarship she'd just secured, Monica descended into genuine hardship. But it didn't end there. Monica's boyfriend soon discovered the scandalous secrets she'd been hiding, and without hesitation, he broke up with her, kicking her out of their shared home immediately. Monica was left with no choice but to move back in with her mother, utterly humiliated and ashamed. Well, Monica, it seems life isn't always as easy as a plain bagel, is it? Perhaps next time you'll think twice before antagonizing someone, especially someone who simply wanted to make friends by bringing donuts. After all, who knew that a simple donut could change a person's entire life? It's unfortunate for Monica, but perhaps this serves as a valuable lesson not just for her, but for anyone who dares mistreat their colleagues. As people often say, karma spares no one. And today I helped Monica learn that lesson in the most painful way possible. And that, my friends, was the sweetest revenge story of my life. Story 2. The battle against a major retailer. When customer rights speak. Loudest. Last Christmas, my wife and I decided to order a special gift for our 9-year-old son, a football rebounder, one of those trampoline-like nets where you kick the ball into it and the ball bounces back. We ordered it from a major sports retailer based in the UK, but with multiple stores in Ireland where we live. Initially, everything seemed smooth. That was until one day we suddenly received a notification from UPS informing us of a customs charge amounting to nearly €50 for this item. Given our tight financial situation, this unexpected fee came as a real shock to our family, especially during such a sensitive time like the Christmas holidays. Determined not to let this matter slide, I immediately called the retailer's customer service. Thinking I'd swiftly resolve the issue, I realized soon enough how naive I had been. On my first call, I was left waiting for over 20 minutes only to be promised that a manager would call me back. Unsurprisingly, that call never came. The second call, the third call, the same scenario played out repeatedly. By the third day, I had completely run out of patience and adopted a firmer approach. I clearly pointed out to them that under Irish consumer law, customers must be clearly informed of any additional fees before completing the transaction, something this retailer had utterly failed to do. In response, the customer service representative coldly offered me a measly €20 voucher. Their irresponsible attitude was the final straw. I declared to them that unless a manager called to apologize and adequately resolve this matter within 1 hour, I would publish the entire story on LinkedIn and tag every senior executive of their company. Unsurprisingly, my ultimatum was once again ignored, so I immediately put my plan into action. On LinkedIn, I composed a detailed post describing my terrible experience with the company, tagging every leader from the European Regional Director right up to the CEO. This forceful counterattack instantly drew significant attention online. But the story didn't end there. The company even tried to remove the product listing from their website, apparently hoping to erase the evidence. Fortunately, I had acted faster. I'd already taken screenshots of the entire purchasing process, including cached images from Google, clearly showing the product listing from just days earlier. I updated my original LinkedIn post with this new evidence again, tagging the company's senior management, publicly mocking their clumsy attempt to hide the truth. The effect was immediate. Shortly thereafter, I received a call from a high-ranking female director from the company, her voice full of remorse, practically begging for forgiveness. At this point, I made my demands crystal clear. I wanted the €50 customs fee refunded, a full refund of the original purchase amount, and I would keep the product as an official apology. Within just an hour, my demands were met in full. The €50 fee was immediately credited to my PayPal account, the entire original purchase price was refunded, and of course the rebounder stayed, much to the delight of my young son. This satisfying outcome wasn't just a personal victory, it served as a stern warning to any company that might dare disregard customer rights. Through this experience, I want to emphasize one critical point. Never allow anyone to dismiss you, especially when your family's rights and interests are at stake. The feeling of triumph was truly wonderful. Remember this valuable lesson: customers' rights always deserve respect, and sometimes even one small individual can make giant corporations bow their heads. And those were the two incredibly satisfying revenge stories I wanted to share with you today. Life is full of challenges and unfair situations, but how we choose to respond to them is what truly defines who we are. Standing up and fighting back doesn't just help us reclaim justice, it can also force the other person to confront their mistakes and hopefully change for the better. I hope these stories inspire you to be strong and assertive in protecting your rights and your dignity. If you've ever experienced something similar, don't hesitate to share it with us in the comments below. Let's spread positivity and empower one another through our shared experiences. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Reddit Echoes so you won't miss any of the compelling stories we have coming up. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.